Before the World Cup final, Lionel Messi laced up a pair of custom boots with the words, "The Last Tango," written on the sole. 120 minutes later, he sat on the grass at MetLife Stadium, his legs splayed out in front of him, staring across the pitch at Spain celebrating an extra-time victory. And then the greatest footballer who ever lived just broke down.
They just want to do anything else apart from win a football match. They'll just do it by fair means or foul. They'll kick, they'll punch, they'll drag, they'll dive, they'll do anything.
Player, they were an utter shambles or disgusting, disgraceful. It was a disgusting performance.
But the tears on the pitch were just the beginning, because in the days that followed, a storm erupted unlike anything world football has ever seen. A formal FIFA investigation, 2 separate disciplinary probes, a vanishing red card, a brawl, a coaching staff member punching a player, and wild, spreading conspiracy theories involving the FBI.
The 2026 FIFA World Cup has come to a historic close.
What is the point of being in a World Cup final if you're not going to have any goal attempt?
A corrupt AFA president, threats in the locker room, and a secret deal to crown a European champion. This is the full story of what happened after July 19th, 2026, and it is absolutely insane. Let's get into it. The final itself, Spain versus Argentina. Spain's extra-time victory over Argentina in the 2026 FIFA World Cup final took a dramatic turn even before the confetti had settled. But to understand why everything exploded afterward, you need to know what actually happened on the pitch first. This was not a football match. This was a siege. It took until the 106th minute, but Spain got their winning goal off the left foot of Ferran Torres. The build-up began just after the kickoff to start the second half of extra time, with Argentina down to 10 men. Young star Lamine Yamal collected the ball on the right wing and passed to Pedro Porro. Porro's right-footed cross into the box almost went out past the far post, but Nico Williams headed the ball back toward Torres, who connected perfectly with his left foot. 1 goal. That was all it took. Messi played all 120-plus minutes but recorded only 1 shot. Argentina's goalkeeper Emiliano Martinez set a historic World Cup final record with 11 saves, and his team still lost. That is not a defeat. That is a siege that went wrong the moment Enzo Fernandez lost his head. Enzo was sent off in the 93rd minute, leaving his teammates with 10 men for the entire half hour of extra time. Brainless. Completely brainless. And that was just the beginning of Argentina's night from hell. The brawl, Paredes, Molina, and the throat grab here is where the night stopped being a football story and became a full-on international incident. The final whistle blew. Spain's players sprinted toward each other in celebration. Spain captain Rodri was apparently hit in the stomach by Argentina defender Nahuel Molina as he ran past to join his teammates. Molina later crowded Rodri, who became the target of a furious verbal barrage from his former Manchester City teammate, Nicolas Otamendi. That was the fuse. And then Leandro Paredes arrived. Paredes grabbed Spain's Eric Garcia by the throat as the brawl erupted, with FIFA now set to investigate the incident. It did not stop there. Paredes and Thiago Almada then forced Spain midfielder Gavi to the ground, and substitutes and coaching staff piled in from both sides. Argentina coach Lionel Scaloni, to his credit, rushed in trying to de-escalate the situation. But even he could not stop what came next, because here is the detail that turns this from a bad night into a catastrophe. An apparent red card for Paredes flashed up on FIFA's official systems for the chokehold, and then, quietly, it was deleted. The brief statement FIFA gave afterward said no timetable for the investigation and did not name Paredes, who was not shown a red card after the game, yet could face a suspension. The world watched a red card appear on screen and then vanish in real time. That single vanishing act is now sitting right at the center of a formal FIFA investigation. Talk about a paper trail. Roberto Ayala, the coaching staff incident. If you thought players losing their minds was the worst of it, wait until you hear what a member of Argentina's coaching staff did, because this is the part that turns a bad night into a federation-level catastrophe. Argentina assistant coach Roberto Ayala was caught on camera approaching Spain's Dani Olmo and Eric Garcia during the chaos, and then apparently striking Olmo in the face. Cameras caught every second of it. Ayala eventually broke his silence, speaking on Valencia Capital Radio, saying, "I saw there was a brawl in the middle of the pitch and we rushed over to get our players out of there. I take responsibility for what I did. My intention was to go and separate them, but sometimes things just happen and your heart's racing. though that's no excuse. Given the position I hold, my behavior has to be different, no matter what I receive. He promised to apologize to Olmo in person. Now compare that to how Olmo himself handled it. In his post-match interview, the 28-year-old said, "Well, it doesn't matter to us in the end. I think it's also important to think about the values you want to convey to the outside. We are role models for many generations and for many children."
El respetar al rival en todo momento, ganes o pierdas. Yo creo que somos un ejemplo para las nuevas generaciones.
Dignified. Absolutely dignified. An assistant coach punching an opposition player at a World Cup final is not a flashpoint of passion. It is a federal-level disciplinary incident, and FIFA now has it all on tape. The trophy ceremony. Argentina turns their backs. And if you think the night ended with the brawl, you were not watching closely enough, because what came after the punches might actually have been worse. After collecting their silver medals from FIFA boss Gianni Infantino and US President Donald Trump on the stage, Argentina did not return the favor and instead turned their backs on the newly crowned champions as they were handed gold medals and the famous winner's trophy. Gold confetti filling the air, 80,000 people watching live at MetLife Stadium, the whole world on television, and Argentina had their backs turned.
FIFA has confirmed that it will open disciplinary proceedings against Argentina.
Scaloni, through floods of tears at his press conference, insisted his players had shown that they know how to lose. It was a strange thing to say about a night that featured a red card for reckless petulance, a coordinated post-match brawl, a coaching staff member punching a player, every player skipping mandatory media duties, and a snubbed trophy ceremony. Alan Shearer said it plainly. There is no place or space for that. Gary Neville called it a disgrace on ITV, openly wondering why referees had kept letting Argentina cross the line throughout the entire tournament. One team made the final about themselves. The other made it about a nation. Football decided which approach wins. The FBI theory, Claudio Tapia, and the locker room rumor. Now here is where the story departs from ugly and enters genuinely wild territory, because the conspiracy theories that erupted in Argentina after the defeat are absolutely extraordinary, and some of them are not entirely without foundation. Before the World Cup final kicked off at MetLife Stadium, a rumor began to spread that FBI agents were at the stadium intending to arrest AFA President Claudio Chiqui Tapia. According to journalist Eduardo Feynman, the rumor caused unease within the Argentine delegation and also reached the players. Reports from La Nación and Marca stated that federal prosecutors and FBI agents were in the midst of an inquiry into hundreds of millions of dollars moved through banking systems involving the AFA. It was even claimed the FBI planned to enter the locker room. Now, here is where Messi fits into this. In the aftermath of the defeat, social media was flooded with footage of Messi addressing his team before the match. The captain was captured in a moment of intense focus, heard repeatedly telling his squad, "Come on, guys. Calm down is the most important thing. Let's stay calm. Let's just think about playing. Nothing else. Calm down. Let's forget about everything." That plea to forget about everything quickly sparked conspiracy theories online, with some suggesting that external factors or off-field drama were weighing on the squad. One fan wrote online, "I need to understand why Messi said, 'Forget everything that happened' before heading out to the final. What the hell are we missing? What did they do to them?" Another posted, "Honestly, after how weird the whole match was, and now this video pops up, I've got 1,000 doubts." Rumors circulated that Messi's speech was his attempt to stop his teammates from focusing on the FBI probe and to put their minds solely on the game. The legal pressure on Tapia had already reached a boiling point before the tournament, when a judge issued a travel ban against the federation chief as part of an investigation centered on the alleged non-payment of social security contributions totaling a staggering $19 billion.